Let's talk about the shift from AI hype to real marketing impact. There's a lot of excitement around AI. We are an AI forward agency. We've been at the helm of implementing, I think, some of the strongest AI driven programs out there. Where do you see the biggest disconnect happening between that hype and the reality in marketing today?
No, that's a great question. And if organizations think that AI is a magic and it is going to come and solve all their problems, it is not, right? And people are trying to understand that, and the reality is also creeping in. The biggest difference that I see when I work with a lot of organization is if they think AI as a tool, then the success factor is not so much. But if they think AI as integrating in their design workflow, as I said earlier, then there is a lot of impact, and they are able to see value out of it. As long as every organization out there is having AI tools, they are using AI tools to do some pilots, but only the ones that are actually integrating AI into their design workflow are able to see the value and are able to move into the production environment. That I see as a big difference between AI as a hype versus AI as a reality. There
Yeah.
is today at this point in time, everybody realizes there is a lot of value in terms of AI and how it can, as I said, the decision velocity or personalization and all of it, but it has to be integrated in the design workflow. So that is where it makes sense. Yeah.
And I think that you're talking about the oh my goodness.
Operationalization. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. I needed that help. And I think turning it into an operating process and a true system is where it gets missed. Talk to us about that.
Sure. We have seen a lot of organization, and by now everybody knows dashboard, and everybody keeps looking at the dashboards in terms of what campaign is performing, what campaign is not performing, and all of that. And when we talk about operationalization AI, maybe I'll give you an example. I very recently had a conversation with one of our acquaintances who are working in Stripe, and I am interested to see in terms of how they have been using uh, enabling AI into their marketing systems. So the way that they have been doing it is they have some forward deployed AI accelerator engineers who kind of come in and work with like 10 to 20 different marketers within their organization and help each of their marketers to do their job better. And whatever their small task is, how do I agentize it, right?
Mm.
So in a way, they get integrated that into their daily workflow, and they're able to see a real value by doing it. So it is not only AI is being provided as a tool, but it is being integrated into their workflow, which kind of helps in terms of operationalization or orchestrating the outcomes, right? And one of the good example was the content verification. I know the marketers generate a lot of content, and how do and in the earlier days it was a human who kind of go in and look into the content and see whether it is appropriate for this particular audience or whether it is resonating with this geography set of people or segment that I'm focusing on. Now most of this can be done through AI,
Yeah.
and the same content, when it is being duplicated across different geographies, AI is able to quickly check for their country relevance, their culture relevance, and come back and tell us in terms of what part of the content will work and what part of the content doesn't work. So
Yeah.
that is what is a great example that I thought
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
I love that, and to you and I, that, is a pretty basic example, but one that I think a lot of people still are not doing. Give us an example, if you could, of something that is very far-reaching at this stage, very novel and innovative compared to, content, support.
Yeah, sure. In fact, one of the example that we have been supporting is more in terms of, maybe I'll give a couple. One, it can be everybody might have thought through it, but maybe some of it have operationalized it, some of people have not operationalized it, which is the real time when there is a campaign that has been launched in some of the social media. Some of the campaigns will work and some of the campaign doesn't work. Typically it used to take like 4 to 6 weeks for any campaign managers to understand whether the campaign is performing well or not performing well. But now with AI you will be able to monitor it in a more real time and also optimize the campaign in terms of the spend, the reallocation of based upon the metrics that you wanted to focus on, all of this can be done in a more real time once you integrate the AI and provide that in the workflow system, right? Which was not done earlier. Earlier, you
Right.
always need to, there is a lag and you need to wait for the data to come in, and then a marketer need to look at it and then change it. Now everything can be done in a more real time. So
Yeah.
that's one example that I can think about. The second example is more around the messaging. When marketers kind of come up with a campaign idea or how to communicate their product to the audience, there is a lot of A/B testing that happens, and now AI kind of helps in terms of streamlining and understand what customers are talking about, what the prospects are talking about, and how to use their own same language in the marketing campaigns that they are doing. Some of it has been, and when you're thinking of doing it at that scale, especially for larger organizations, that becomes a lot more. With AI, there is a velocity that you are able to bring in here.